Well, we start the program in San Francisco, California, where the world's most valuable company is hosting its highly anticipated annual fall event. That's Apple, of course. It's been playing catch-up with its competitors when it comes to improving its iPhone. Both Samsung and Google have been improving their smartphone designs and camera quality, while sales of Apple's iPhone, its biggest revenue generator, have stalled. The event just started a few minutes ago, but maybe not quite in the way most people expected.
Thank you so much for helping me get to the keynote. I can't thank you enough.
Listen, the least I can do. You call, I'm there.
Thanks.
I mean, what are you going to talk about? Is there any insider information you can give me?
We're going to talk about some great stuff.
Right, that just sounds like a press release. Is this true? I've read that the security on the new iPhone is going to be the best of its kind.
Absolutely.
And do you know how I read that?
How?
A leak on the internet. Do you see the irony of that?
I do see the irony of that.
How amusing. Chetan Sharma is a technology expert and joins us now from Seattle in the United States. Chetan, that was a very amusing little clip from James Corden there and Tim Cook. But something more serious, which iPhone fans are a little concerned about. This new phone is said to not include a headphone jack. Is that for real?
From whatever we have heard so far and the tweet that just came out from Apple that they deleted, it seems like, and that's true, that the headphone jack is going away.
Well, that is driving a lot of people mad. I mean, what is the purpose of that?
I think it just, there are purposes twofold. One is that by eliminating it, it gives you more room for the electronics to work with. As well as I think the wireless Bluetooth works very well, and so it helps eliminate some extra, what Apple thinks is extra on the iPhone. And you know, to be honest, I don't think it's much of a concern going forward. I think this happens every time when Apple takes out a commonly used accessory or peripheral. So I think over time, almost everybody will start doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're just looking at some live pictures from San Francisco there. They're taking a look at the watch that they brought out. Mm-hmm. You know, some analysts are saying that Apple can't really innovate anymore. We're just seeing a succession of incremental improvements. Do you think that's true?
I think, so if you look at last year's devices and probably even this year's device, some could argue that it's more incremental in nature. And oftentimes that's how technology works, in increments rather than a complete change of what we are used to. And so I would expect the same thing will happen this time around. The bad part of that is it doesn't drive a lot of sales or historic sales that Apple is used to.
Okay, Chetan, well, we're looking at the live pictures from San Francisco. We are waiting, of course, for the phone to be brought out. At the moment, they've just looked at some of the minor products, but we're going to stay with Apple. And the Irish Parliament has been called to hold a special session to debate the government's appeal against the EU ruling. Now, Brussels recently ruled that Apple should pay Ireland over $14 billion worth of taxes. The Republic's finance minister, Michel Noonan, said that his country had not given Apple any special treatment. Apple CEO Tim Cook has also spoken out. He described the EU's decision as maddening and political. The European Competition Commissioner, Margrethe Vestager, however, rejects the claims. She said the decision was based on actual facts from Apple's own data. Well, for more on this, we're joined by our editor-at-large in the studio here, Craig Copetas. Craig, look, let's bring it down to basics. On the face of it, you'd think, why wouldn't the Irish government want to be awarded $14 billion in unpaid taxes from Apple?
Well, first of all, what's going on in San Francisco, that's the sideshow. The main event is in Europe. They're worried because Ireland makes its money and gets its investments by giving legal tax and legitimate tax deals to corporations that come there, particularly startups. Remember, Apple went there as a startup. The issue here, Matthew, is real simple. The European Union says that Ireland gave Apple a subsidy.
Right.
Ireland says We gave it a tax rate. And that's what the argument's going to be about.
So what would the EU like ideally? For all the EU members to have the same tax rate and it operates as a cartel?
Yes, that is precisely what they want to do. The question is, what do you as a European Union citizen want to see? Do you want to see Europe as a cartel of governments, or do you want to see Europe as a market of governments? And the Irish government and the British government and the Luxembourg government and others are creating a competitive arena for growth. Margaret Vestager doesn't like this. She is trying to enforce laws which many believe supersede the sovereign rights of Ireland.
Which could be argued to be anti-democratic, of course. And then Tim Cook is saying there's an ulterior motive for what the EU is trying to do. It's running out of cash and it needs more tax.
Absolutely. Pluck as many feathers as you can from the goose without making it squawk. And Apple here is squawking. This is going to court, Matthew. It's going to take years, and I believe ultimately the EU is going to lose this case because Ireland has a sovereign right to create its own tax rates.
Okay, Craig Copetas, our editor-at-large, thank you very much for your analysis. Appreciate it.